First, I'll let you see me. They're concerned about my appearance. I'm going to tell you a story after I talk about what they suggested, and then I'll tell you a story. Okay, so their suggestions now, they're again concerned about my panties. They said they can tell if something's in my butt, but then they said no, it wasn't in my butt. So they falsely accused me. Here's a lie a day. The latest lie was that something is in my butt, but it wasn't really in my butt, which is part of what I'm saying. It seems like these people came up with a way to keep me upset, not just lying, but falsely accusing me of being a child molester, looking at children in any way, um, accusing me of they said I'm going to go to prison, that I'm going to get arrested. So they came up with a way of constantly agitating me, plus hitting me in the head, especially here and throughout my body. So not only would I be sick, but I would be upset. So they said they aren't going to stop until I lose a tooth, because they said by hitting me in my mouth, it causes the vibration causes the tooth to loosen. So not only are they lying on me, but they're trying to cause physical ailments. And then I guess because I wouldn't have a lot of options, I would just like have my teeth taken out. They said they were going to make it so that no man ever wants me again. No man has wanted me for a long time, so I think I can live with that. But the whole point is all of the lies, all of the stress, on top of dealing with a physical ailment, which they keep saying seems like it's multiple sclerosis. I don't know. I haven't had a diagnosis. They said that the twitching is an issue and it's abnormal. And I think so too. And I know it was caused by this. So that's part of the stress that I'm under. So I'm going to just say under stress. But I think what they wanted me to do is do things that would, under the stress, I wouldn't normally do, which is being done under duress. So I'm going to call this stress and duress. Because when you're under stress and when you have people pressuring you and constantly angering you and trying to get you upset and then suggesting have another beer, get a bottle of wine. So I'm not only under stress, but I'm under duress. And when you're under duress, you tend to act out. So when they said they're going to get me arrested, that's their plan. Their plan is to put me under so much duress that I act out. So one of the other suggestions they had was that they said now police live in this building, which is a lie. But they lied on me again and said that when I worked at the bank, a police officer came in to, as when I was a teller, and gave me something and said the person was moving into River Bay. And so they said, well, I said something like, oh, okay. And then later on, I came home and said something. That's a lie. That's not what happened. I'm not going to say what happened because I don't want them to be able. See, they keep coming up with new lies based on other things. So I don't want them to be able to keep twisting and distorting what happened. But I want you to know that's what they said. The other point about that is that they said this technology was installed at the bank. If that's the case, it's a crime. It's a crime. This type of surveillance installed anywhere is a crime because no one will have privacy. The next thing I want to talk about is the fact that they think they can control what I talk about, because they came up with a new lie about me being unable to talk about things that everyone else talks about. So on my Twitter feed, please check it out. I don't really log into the Fashion Fun Femme account a lot, but I do log into Cup of Java Pro and Shamega Johnson. The new lie was that there are different religious groups that have a lot of sexual abuse. And I was watching a show was based on a certain group in the Jewish religion that they said sexual abuse is as prevalent in that religion as in Catholicism. And they get really upset that I would know that. Everybody knows it. It's in the news. I don't understand why they think that I would have some sort of reason for not speaking openly about things that everyone speaks openly about. So when they falsely, I feel a sensation right here, when they falsely accused me of being an escort, they said, oh, I I only sell polos. I don't sell anything else. And they said that the person who's talking in the background all the time said the P word for the female anatomy. I did not say that word. And that's part of what I'm saying. They seem to be going back and forth between what they think happened and what really happened. So they said in 1991, I said the P word to the girl. I asked for the telephone number for the girl who was going to be kidnapped, raped, and murdered. The reason in 1991 I said it was because the girl was going to be kidnapped, raped, and murdered. And the sociopath who keeps stalking me and having every member of her family try to stalk me said that. And the girl said to me, tell me exactly what she's telling you. And like I said, that was a prank call that escalated. And I'm going to tell you everything. That's part of what I'm doing now. I'm just telling you folks everything. Because this is how this crime lasted so long. People were experiencing these things, but we didn't know how to phrase it. We didn't know what it was about. Other people experienced it and they talked about it in like a vague way. But I'm telling you everything straightforward so that there's no confusion. So they keep saying, we keep trying to connect you to people in the past that we know you don't want to be connected with. Why would I want to be connected with a sociopath who ruined my senior year of high school, who threatened to kill my then boyfriend who I broke up with, and they even admit I told him in a fuzzy way, I can't. That was after they threatened to kill him, and I loved him. I fell in love with my classmate who it seems like even though we had these feelings for each other, we were too young, and they admit I was 17, he was 18, it would have been an issue. We've moved on from that. So after all of that's happening, then I get the former friend who thought I was just gossiping and didn't realize this rape, kidnap, kill situation was legitimate until afterwards, and they told her afterwards. And you would think she would be woman enough to apologize and sit me aside when we were at the reunion to say, listen, I found out blah, blah, blah. No, we sat aside, talked politely, and I let her know in my way of speaking, you have daughters. This should not, I hope nothing ever happens to them that's bad, because this is how this works. It happens this way because women, as women, we don't talk to each other the right way. And that's what goes back. That's a common recurring theme with every story I've told you. It's the theme that I told you with that story. It's the theme that I told you with the training story. It's the theme that I told you with the dating story. It's the theme that I told you folks about every last story that I tell you. It's about us as women communicating what's happening to us to protect the next person from it happening to again. So they think I'm going to bite my tongue. Oh, hell no. This tongue is going to wag. Okay, folks? Because that's what happened in 1991 and every last story I told you. In 1991, after that happened, people should have come back to me the right way. And this is all connected. It's all connected. I'm going to put that in the title too. It's all connected. There are groups of people out there who do kidnap, rape, and murder people. I was going to say black women. I was going to say people. They do it. And I think we were targeted, like I told you before. My high school happened to be a school that was difficult to get into. I think it made us a little bit less savvy. And it took us time. I think, I spoke to someone maybe in 2014, 2015, and said, my school, we didn't have guns. We didn't have guns. We weren't those types of kids. We had stink bombs, and that was a big deal. Stink bomb is where you take an egg and you let it rot, and then you throw it and it smells bad. That was a big deal. So we didn't have that type of savvy. And I think that was part of our problem. I think had this situation happened in a public school, oh no, this sociopathic female, the elementary schoolmate, would have been murdered herself. If this was a public school, they would have killed her a long time ago. So I think she preyed upon people like me, people like the young woman. So the young woman, they keep saying, I'm going to tell you this, they keep saying she had these big, beautiful blue eyes and she's black. She's gorgeous, a gorgeous young person, and didn't deserve any of that. So they said, what else do they want to talk about? They said that the sociopath, which is now her new name, forget the elementary school mate, anyone who could keep doing this daily and talking to me daily and letting them use her voice is a sociopath, because she doesn't get it. There will never be any reconciliation with any member of her family. She was upset about one thing and it led to all of this. She's a sociopath. And now that it's out in the open, this is the best thing that could have happened for everyone. So anyway, they said she's very envious of light-eyed people. And I noticed her targets tend to have light eyes. So they said, I also have light eyes. If you look at me in the sun, it's brown. And I think that is part of the pattern. So I want to tell you guys the pattern. The pattern is finding people who are attractive enough to lure other people in, whether it be to, a male who might be interested in the person. It could be to lure people who are sociopaths they keep saying something like toxic envy. But I think it's more than just toxic envy. I think they lure in people who have the tendency to not just be envious of someone, but take it out on that person, to punish. So I think, I'm going to use the example of the really attractive girl with the big blue eyes. She's a black person. The idea that she exists in their world means you got to destroy that because she's rare. So it's not just, and that goes back to what I'm telling you about why the kids at Cardinal Spellman were targeted. We were rare. There weren't a lot of us. There weren't a lot of people who could get admitted to the school, and we had to pass a lot of tests. We couldn't fail at the end of the school year because there was no way to get left back. We had to pass, and we had to graduate to the next year with a 70 passing grade. So not only were we rare, but we were in our little way attractive. And I think that's the key. They target attractive people, whether it's male or female. Then they latch onto that attractive person. And then they use this technology to make the attractive person seem nuts. So once you discredit the attractive person has fewer options. So not only are you attractive, but you have been discredited, your options are less, and then they can push you into something else that they want you to get into. That's the pattern. The other pattern that they have is taking people who are very successful, meaning targeting someone who's very successful. And then they thought I would be used to get to someone who's very successful. And I think that's another issue with this. So when I was telling people in the videos, if you're connected to me, go to the police, go to the FBI, let them know you're connected to me and this is happening. Because by surveilling me illegally and listening to me illegally, if I'm in contact with someone who's successful, or they can lure someone who's successful, then they can blackmail that person. That's also this issue. So I think it's a bigger issue. So I have to let my tongue wag. So they said they're fearful that I may wag and tell something. I don't know all the details. That's my point. The more I talk to you, the more I'm like, well, maybe this is working with this. So the more I talk to you, the more I'm able to connect things. So they said another thing is that the people these folks found to bring back into my life have criminal backgrounds. Now, I wouldn't know that because they weren't in my life. So they said, oh, the more I talk, they'll turn more people against me. I don't care. I don't care. You're murderers. You're rapists, murderers, kidnappers. Why would I care? They already said, oh, they're going to take out my teeth. Hey, I'll be toothless and my tongue will be wagging. So I'm going to leave this video at that, and I'll do another video later. Thanks for watching.